The video opens with Mark Rober doing what he does best, instantly grabbing attention with a bold promise. He shows himself pitching a wiffle ball that he confidently claims is impossible to hit. And right away, the viewer understands that this is not just a sports challenge. It is a story about necessity, curiosity, and creativity. Mark explains that he engineered this strange ball because he's about to face the world's greatest wiffle ball players. And from the very first moments, the stakes are clear. He's stepping into a world where raw talent alone won't be enough, and science might be his only way to survive. He slows things down by explaining what wiffle ball actually is: a simple backyard version of baseball that almost everyone in America recognizes. But then he reveals what makes it special: the holes on one side of the ball. Those holes allow the ball to curve in ways that seem almost unnatural. This simple observation naturally leads into a much bigger question. How do wiffle balls curve so dramatically? And more importantly, how do balls from any sport curve through the air? Instead of giving answers right away, Mark frames the entire video as a journey to find those answers through testing, failure, and engineering. From there, the story takes an emotional turn. Mark returns to his childhood home in Bree, California, a place he hasn't lived in for more than 20 years. What could have been a quick nostalgic clip turns into a meaningful chapter of the video. He walks through the house, pointing out where he once stored toys, recalling harmless childhood chaos, and laughing about questionable engineering experiments from his early years. These moments humanize him and quietly explain why this challenge matters so much. Wiffle ball isn't just a game, it's tied to memories, imagination, in a time when creativity had no limits. Outside the house, Mark notices that neighborhood kids still play in the street, just like he once did. To anyone else, it's just a road, but to him, it's a stadium filled with legends and memories. When he joins the kids in a game, the video briefly feels like it has traveled back in time. He jokes about being a long ball legend, throws confidently, and enjoys the feeling of being part of something simple and joyful again. This segment isn't about proving skill. It's about reconnecting with the reason he fell in love with games and experimentation in the first place. That joy is quickly challenged when Mark introduces the professional wiffle ball world. He explains that while his childhood path led him into engineering and science, others kept their dream alive and turned wiffle ball into a legitimate competitive league. Through players like Kyle, who went from an 11-year-old kid to the league's founder and commissioner, the video shows what happens when passion never fades. The league has teams, drafts, playoffs, rivalries, and detailed statistics, everything you'd expect from a professional sport minus the paychecks. These players compete purely for love of the game. The main figure looming over all of this is Jimmy Norp, known as the Norpedo, a dominant force in the league and a back-to-back world champion. By the time Mark meets him, the tension is real. This isn't friendly backyard competition anymore. When the game begins under stadium lights, Mark finally gets the chance he dreamed about as a kid, but the reality is brutal. The pitches move in ways he's never experienced before. Balls curve violently across the strike zone. Mark swings confidently at first, even calling his shot, but it quickly becomes obvious that he's completely outmatched. Strikeouts pile up. The crowd reacts. Mark looks confused and frustrated. The ball feels impossible to hit, and he openly admits it. These moments of struggle are important because Mark doesn't hide them or rush past them. He lets the audience feel the defeat with him. Despite a few small successes, his team loses, and the outcome is not what he imagined. It's a humbling experience, and as he boards the plane home, he admits that this loss stays with him. But instead of giving up, Mark does what defines him. He turns frustration into curiosity. He decides to science the crap out of it. He invites Jimmy and Kyle to Crunch Labs and begins studying exactly how they curve the ball so effectively. The video then expands beyond wiffle ball and into the broader world of physics and aerodynamics. Mark visits Major League Baseball facilities, including the San Francisco Giants, where advanced pitcher development programs use the same scientific principles. seeing elite players and coaches struggle against extreme ball. Movement reassures him that this challenge isn't just personal, it's universal. The science portion of the video is told like a story rather than a lecture. Mark introduces a riddle involving an astronaut drifting in space, slowly building toward the idea of forces, momentum, and reaction. He connects this idea to airflow and the Coanda effect, explaining how air curves around smooth surfaces. When he finally introduces the Magnus effect, it feels earned rather than overwhelming. The explanation makes complex physics feel intuitive, almost playful. Suddenly, the impossible pitches start to make sense. He confirms his theories with experiments, comparing normal baseballs to smooth ones without seams and showing how much more movement the standard ball has. He explains how seams and surface texture grab the air, increasing spin and curve. When he applies this understanding back to wiffle balls, everything clicks. The scuffed smooth side and the whole field rough side explain exactly why the ball moves the way it does. By this point, the audience understands the secret behind the chaos that dominated the first game. With knowledge in hand, Mark moves into the most entertaining phase of the video engineering revenge. A fast-paced build montage shows him creating absurd yet clever wiffle balls using springs, timers, and 3D printed parts. These inventions are designed to be unpredictable, changing trajectory mid-air or splitting apart after being thrown. They are ridiculous, brilliant, and completely on brand for Mark Rober. The rematch in Oklahoma feels like a payoff to everything that came before. The crowd is larger, the tension higher, and Mark arrives armed with inventions instead of blind confidence. The game is chaotic, filled with surprise pitches, unexpected failures, and moments of triumph. Some gadgets work briefly before being figured out. Others fail immediately. But Mark adapts constantly, showing that engineering is about iteration, not perfection. One of the most powerful moments comes when Mark manages to strike out Jimmy North. It's not played as domination, but as mutual respect. A subtle nod passes between them, symbolizing the bridge between raw skill and scientific understanding. The game continues, filled with drama, close calls, and one final risky dash for home plate that seals the outcome in unforgettable fashion. As the video winds down, the energy softens. Mark reflects on what the experience meant to him. Standing on the field, it feels like the streetlights of his childhood might come on at any moment. He realizes that Jimmy, Kyle, and their friends never lost sight of what brought them joy. The video ends not as a celebration of winning, but as a reminder that passion, curiosity, and play are worth protecting. In the end, this video is a perfect representation of Mark Rober's storytelling style. It blends humor, science, failure, nostalgia, and creativity into a single journey. It's not just a review of a wiffle ball game. It's a story about learning how the world works, embracing setbacks, and using curiosity to turn childhood dreams into something unforgettable.